It's almost 2026, and the camera world is filled with options. You got the Sony FX3, you got the Canon C50, you got the Nikon ZR, and so many more. And yet, I'm still here using the Sony A7 III, a camera that first came out way back in 2018. Why am I doing this? Today I want to break it down and show you why this camera is a staple in my bag after all of these years, and why even with all of this competition, I don't plan on replacing it. Let's be real. It's hard to not be tempted by new stuff. It feels like a new camera is coming out every single week. The Sony FX3 has cinema-level features packed into a tiny body, incredible low light, and pro audio workflows. It's the king of the court. Everybody loves it. The Canon C50 brings in a 7K sensor, dual base ISO, 4K at 120 frames per second, built-in ND filters, and that classic Canon color science. And then there's the Nikon ZR, which comes loaded with red-style color profiles and internal RAW recording. It's sleek, it's modern, and undeniably beautiful. All of these cameras, and so many more, are incredible tools. But here's the thing. Not every creator needs all of that. The A7 III was nicknamed Sony's basic model when it came out back in 2018. People were calling it the Toyota Corolla of cameras. It was reliable, it got the job done, it wasn't anything flashy. It went on to become one of Sony's best-selling full-frame cameras of all time. And the Sony A7 III continues to hit the sweet spot for me. And here's why. First off, versatility. This thing is one of the best hybrid cameras out there, and it continues to hit the mark on my versatile needs. I can shoot photos, crisp 4K video, I can shoot 120 frame buttery smooth slow-mo, all with one small body. And that's the kind of balance that is exactly what I need. Some of these higher tier cameras don't have all of that and don't allow me to provide both photo and video with one tool. I shoot a lot of social content for small businesses, and so often when I'm on a shoot, I'm gathering a bunch of videos, and they say, hey, can you get a couple of high quality photos of these products too, or photos of whatever it is they're working on? And that's really easy for me with the A7 III. I can just swap my camera over into photo mode, get some pictures, and then get back to shooting video. It's one body that does everything. That's perfect for what I do. Next, let's talk price to performance. When the Sony A7 III dropped, it was already a great deal. It was roughly $2,000, a fraction of the price of the FX3 or the Canon C50. But now, after all this time, it's even cheaper. You can find a new Sony A7 III for under $1,500. You can find a used version for under $1,000. This camera is so accessible and so affordable, it's really a no-brainer if you're looking to pick up something to get started. Now let's talk about the lens ecosystem. So many people think about their lens options when they go into buying a camera or determining what camera they use with their gear kit. This uses the E-mount lens, which is beyond fantastic. The Sony E-mount lens is probably the most well-supported lens mount in the world. You've got your Sony G Masters if you want your high-end glass, there's Tamron, there's Sigma, so many third-party lenses that are built for the E-mount. So this means I can tailor my kit however I want to without being locked into exclusively one brand's high-end, expensive glass. Personally, I love my Tamron 28 to 75mm and my Sigma 35mm, and I got these at decent prices that can build out my kit because I wasn't stuck to just using Sony G Master lenses. So that versatility of lens choice is absolutely critical, and it's one of the reasons why I love this Sony camera. This is probably a benefit of any Sony camera is the E-mount, but in my case with the Sony A7 III, it works just fantastic. Next, we gotta talk about reliability. This camera is all reliable for me. It's been through it all. Travel, rain, long shoots, a couple of drops. This camera's done everything, and it continues to perform. It's lightweight, but also weather sealed, and I feel like I could trust it in any environment, in any scenario. Now, we gotta talk image quality with the Sony A7 III. This camera is coming up on 8 years old at this point, but the image quality still stacks up. It creates stunning images. Paired with Sony's autofocus and that 5-axis stabilization, there really is so many options between handheld video shooting and just capturing perfect, crisp stills. And of course, incredible low light capabilities. Sony has this across all of their cameras, really strong low light performance. But the Sony A7 III, for having come out in 2018, really stands the test of time and captures incredible low light images and videos. And in my case, most of what my clients are looking for is being posted on social media. It's being viewed through a phone. So I don't need crazy cinema quality in order for these photos and videos to look good. They really look so good and stand out from the pack already if you're viewing it on Instagram or on YouTube on your phone or on YouTube even on your computer. The quality is more than enough. Now, let me be totally honest here. Do I sometimes look at the features on these new cameras and new releases and get a little bit jealous? I get a little bit of FOMO, like, ooh, that would be nice. Sure, I do. Internal RAW on the Nikon ZR sounds amazing, though I cringe a little thinking about the storage space. Built-in NDs sound like that would be great as well. And do I just want a Sony FX3 or potentially the next iteration of that? Of course. But here's the truth. Do I need that? No. My clients, as I said before, they want content for YouTube. They want content for Instagram and TikTok. The quality that the Sony A7 III gives me is more than enough to stand out from the pack on those platforms. The A7 III is covering 90+% of my needs. And most important of all, the people who are watching my videos or my clients' videos can't tell the difference between what I'm shooting with the Sony A7 III or if it's some beautiful raw footage from the Nikon ZR or the Sony FX3. They really wouldn't know the difference. What they see is the story, the creativity, and the end result. I've filmed pretty much all of my content over the last 5+ years with the Sony A7 III, and not once has someone said, "Were you shooting raw? Was that a cinema level camera?" I've only ever heard, "Wow, this is amazing quality." So an upgrade, while it would be fun and exciting, wouldn't really do much for me. I'd rather wait, stick to what I know, and continue making the best videos that I can possibly make. Now, if you're a filmmaker who lives inside of cinema workflows, you need RAW, pro audio inputs, built-in NDs, or super high frame rates for commercial shoots, then yes, you might want to think about the FX3, the Canon C50, a higher tier cinema camera. But for most creators, you'd be surprised at how far the Sony A7 III can take you. Most people aren't gonna know the difference. I just wanna think about how the A7 III really changed the game in the camera space. It was so popular that it forced Canon and Nikon to play catch up. I really feel like this was kind of the shift of the top brands as far as video in cameras went. No longer were people looking at DSLRs as the front runner. Canon kind of fell off when the A7 III came out, and suddenly it was the mirrorless wave. Canon dropped their EOS R, their first mirrorless camera, not super long after the A7 III came out. This camera defined a new era of cameras, and I'm sticking with it. So here we are, 8 years after release, and the Sony A7 III is still one of the most reliable, balanced, and affordable cameras that you can buy. It's not flashy, but it's effective. And that's why I'm still using it going into 2026. If you're also shooting on the A7 III or you've moved over to one of these newer cameras, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And if this video helped, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back for more.